Let it adjust. All right, while it's adjusting, I'm gonna get prepared. All right, yeah. Hey, what's poppin', y'all? We back with another video today. We're gonna do Jesse Lee Peterson versus Deranged, Unhinged, ex-cop has a meltdown. Let's hop right into it. It's 13 minutes. Let's go.
If you keep hanging on liberal, it's like your weak link. It's like your tick. You're like facts liberal, facts liberal, facts liberal. Like you can't help it. I don't understand.
Are you a liberal?
No, I'm not a liberal. Oh, here we go.
No, are you a white
liberal?
Are you a white supremacist?
No.
The problem with you and what you have is, and people like you.
I have a problem.
Yes.
What is that?
It's that when it comes to black people, you guys tend to have a false sense of love for black folks.
Who is your people? I just told you I wasn't a liberal, and you're saying me as a liberal does this. I just told you I'm not a liberal, and I gave you an example of how everything I fight for, half of it is rooted in conservative mentality.
Is part of your mission is to help poor people and to help black people?
Yeah, I'd like to follow Jesus' model in that.
You believe in Jesus?
I believe in that being somebody that is benevolent in the example that Jesus led is absolutely something admirable to look up towards.
So do you believe in Jesus?
As a character, I believe in him no more than Harry Potter.
I'm not understanding. Do you believe in Jesus? You mentioned Jesus. Do you believe in Jesus?
As equally as Harry Potter.
That is
a direct comparison.
What does that mean?
It's a fictional character.
And that's how you see Jesus?
Yeah, sure. But you can get a lot of value out of fictional characters.
And what type of values?
You think that what we just said isn't a good value? To help the poor? That's not a good value? Because Jesus told me to go help the poor, and I'm following that, and I think that's a good value.
And do you consider the blacks to be poor?
I mean, I don't even know what you mean by blacks. What are you saying by blacks? You say that term when you're the darkest skinned one sitting here, and you're asking me about blacks.
But you see,
you're asking me about black people. What do you define as black?
You seem to be into the black
confusing.
thing. I asked where you're trying to.
What is the black thing? Define your terms. What is the black?
Do you see black Americans as being
What
poor?
is black? Define your term.
I don't. That's a ridiculous question. You don't. Me. You see me? I'm black.
Okay, so you're black.
Would you consider that as being black?
I don't know. You define your terms. I haven't been able to nail down your terms yet. Because I define black as that which stands against white supremacy, because that's what we're actually talking about. So when these races were fabricated, we had Italians and the Irish were considered black, because it was that which stood against the white supremacy that was established at that time.
That's true.
So blackness as a concept is that which is fighting. So whether you're black, brown, red, or whatever, you're still in that category conceptually.
That's amazing. You fight against whites with black people because you see them as white.
He completely is about to twist everything he's saying, but what he's saying is 1000% true. Irish people and I think it was Italians or Scottish, I can't remember, it was another group of people, but they were considered blacks because they were considered blacks though at the time. I'm just say that, but he's right.
Premises. Am I hearing you right? I understand. What is white supremacist?
Well, so in our country right now, what we're operating is a white version of supremacy. So it's just elite supremacy. At times, during the Ottoman Empire, we had brown supremacy. Right now, because of colonization and the system that was established from slavery, we are operating in a system of white supremacy.
So what does that look like in America today? Because I can't recognize it. How do I recognize that? White supremacists against black folks.
The housing bubble is the most recent one. So while everything was crafted towards 70% of the income that was lost from the housing bubble, black families lost 70% of their income on average, white families under 10%. Redlining in school districts, environmental poisoning. So the reason black communities have more violent crime is because they were intentionally redlined by government laws and leasing regulations to put them in certain communities that already had lead poisoning. And no, you can breathe like you want to interrupt me, but the reason you want to do that is because these facts really up with your paradigm.
No, I want to interrupt you because what you're saying is ridiculous.
Well, it's scientific. You can look it up. I mean, you got a computer in your hand. Just type in Google.
I will find it on the computer, but it's just more mess that liberals made up, lies.
Why would you fight against children being lead poisoning, and you think I should honor your position?
Are you saying blacks lost their home?
Again, please define
white supremacists? Are you saying that?
No, they lost their home because what we have done is we have institutionalized white supremacy in our system, such as the correctional facility system, such as the banking system. So for
But that's not
instance,
why they lost their home,
why?
right? Because they lost their home because they couldn't afford to pay for
I
it.
wonder if anybody ever realizes there's no rationality with Jesse. You're not gonna rationalize. He's gonna berate you with talking points until you are annoyed.
And never should have gotten those loans.
do you enjoy interrupting me? Does it make you feel good?
But I can't let you just go on and on because you're talking a bunch of stuff that's totally wrong. And
I'm talking about things that you've never researched and you think are wrong because Fox News told you that.
But you only believe it because someone else told you. You read some stat that was made up by some
I'm actually educated, so
liberal.
I do the work myself. I go back.
You say you're educated?
Liberal. Stop saying liberal. What are you if you keep hanging on liberal, it's like your weak link. It's like your tick. You're like facts liberal, facts liberal, facts liberal. Like you can't help it. I don't understand.
Are you a liberal?
No,
You're not a liberal.
Oh, here we go again. Liberal.
Are you a white supremacist?
No.
Why is it that you're not a white supremacist? You're a white man. And you're a white cop.
No,
What separates you from the rest of the white cops?
I just explained to you. This white supremacy is a system of institutions and policies and legislation. I'm not blaming individuals. So whenever you focus on individuals, it's just going to go right in one ear out the other because it's not about individuals. It's about the systems which guide our country. Lead poisoning is the #1 correlate to violent crime. So you put a particular people in a particular area, 22 years later, when they're violent, you go, oh my God, look, it's because they're black. No, it's not. It's because we have systems of institutions who put those people in those places for specific reasons, knowing you are going to poison them, so they can continue to fuel things like you punching down on victims of this system, so that they can all allow us to fight one another when we're really on the same team.
Who controls the system?
Nobody. It's ambiguous.
So the system controls itself.
Right now, obviously. Right. So right now, Princeton study that everybody can look up.
That's amazing, man.
I know it's amazing, and I know it's blowing your mind, and so you're about to say liberal.
It's amazing that you believe, being a young man, I understand it. You say you're educated, right? So that
I still haven't gotten you to define black yet, so I'm waiting for your education to help me.
I'm black. My skin color is black.
Okay, so that doesn't make any sense to me when you just say you're black because of your skin. So why are we having a conversation about blackness? There are black people in the audience. Talk to them.
Let me ask you this: why are blacks in prison? Why are they committing a crime? If they didn't commit the crimes, would they be in jail?
Of course.
How's that?
It's demonstrably provable. The Innocence Project, anyone want to look them up, they've already gotten hundreds of people off of death row by using DNA to prove that they weren't even anywhere near that area.
Exceptions to anything. People make mistakes in life. But majority of blacks are in jails and prisons because they are committing crimes.
That's absolutely
Do you agree
not.
with that?
No, that's
But does anybody notice that he cannot say anything positive about black people on this platform? Like, I'm just curious, does anyone notice that? Jesse cannot acknowledge anything positive about blacks today. He has to only say the negative. That's another thing I'm getting tired of about these conversations. Like, why can't we say anything positive about either side, whether it's white or black? You know, like, white people do good shit too. White people have helped black people throughout the decades, and black people have been good to white people as well. Like, why is it always a conversation of the negative? But it does draw attention, and it draws controversy, and it makes people talk, so that's probably what it is.
Absolutely not true.
That's amazing.
I'm going to explain it to you. So what they're actually done is these are the people who have been arrested and looked upon for committing crimes. For instance, with drug use, white communities and black communities carry drugs at equal rates, and the science leads more towards white people carrying drugs more. So it matters whether you look at them or you don't look at them. For instance, I grew up carrying drugs in my pocket darn near every day, trespassing on public property to go do certain things at night when I shouldn't have. And these are the exact same things that I constantly got away with growing up in a white neighborhood and looking like this, that I actually locked people up for doing and looked at the side of the table from and realized I was putting them into that system for doing the exact same thing I did. And that couldn't be any more hypocritical.
You do realize that most blacks can't afford attorneys or lawyers to represent them. So when they end up in jail, you have one court-appointed lawyer that has a caseload of 20 or 30 blacks on it, so they're not going to get the same service that a white person would get who can afford to buy a lawyer or hire a lawyer. So you realize that, right?
So you intentionally create systems.
No, answer that. You do realize that, right?
Right. So you intentionally create systems which will keep people poor. And when you keep people poor, you keep them fighting one another, thinking that other poor people are the problem when they're looking the wrong way. So whenever you are punching down like you're doing right now, rest assured you're being manipulated by somebody more powerful than you are.
Amazing. Are blacks suffering due to the lack of moral character and the destruction of the family, or this idea of racism?
But see, you're making claims that just...
That's a question.
But no,
That was a question.
No, it's a
Are
claim.
they suffering due to the destruction of the family, lack of moral character, or is there something else that's
Okay,
causing them
you
to
compound
suffer?
things. So family structure and moral character are separate issues. You understand that, right?
You haven't answered the question yet.
They are.
Right, you can't combine separate issues into one question. So, or is it because they lack moral character? Absolutely not. And an example that I can give of that with complete ease is that in Cleveland, when Tamir Rice was murdered, no cops got killed. If a cop kills my daughter, rest assured cops will get killed.
So you say no, they're not.
Another really good example is the fact that in the hood, you can go to this, right? Yes, sometimes children and women do get hit, but literally, you could go to any hood, meet any gangster, any gangster, anybody. They will tell you this. Women and children are off limits. And if that does happen, the hood is fired up that day. Whoever did it is about to get it. So even in prisons, most black people are in prisons, right? Well, I'm not gonna put quote unquote, but they are. In prisons, what happens to people who do things to children? They don't last too long. There's a level of integrity even amongst the people we think are the lowest in our society. So I just wanted to make that point too, but yeah.
Not suffering due to the lack of moral character. How about the destruction of the family?
Absolutely, that's
Would
what
that be having an impact on why they're suffering?
Right. Well, see, I locked up 458 black fathers and took them away from their families. That's how they end up out.
And that's the system fault too?
Yeah, absolutely it is.
So blacks don't take any responsibility for their failures?
They don't take any responsibility.
Are you telling them that they shouldn't take any responsibility? It's always someone else?
No, absolutely not.
Then you just blame the system for locking up the black fathers.
Because things has nuance. So what I'm telling you is maybe one person out of there made a decision that wasn't directly affected by the systems and institutions which push them into that neighborhood, which makes a cop from the county that was never arrested and is ultra privileged to go down in there and put them in a prison cell, get an overtime check for it, and the community says that that was a good thing, when we demonstrably know that it's not, because putting people in prison increases their chance of committing a crime again, because that fuels the causation. And if you keep interrupting me, I cannot do these interviews with you. You have to be professional in some aspect whatsoever and let your guests finish this. I'm correcting you for your unprofessionalism and interrupting me, and you're still trying to do it. It's amazing.
No, we're running out of time and you go on and on and on, and I've heard this crap before. But let me ask.
Why are you so amazed if you've heard it all before?
Let me ask this. Would you justify the actions of your own children? Let's say you were married with kids. I don't know if you are. Are you married?
You should know that before we start this interview.
Are you married?
You should know that before we start.
Are you married?
Yeah.
And you have children?
Mm-hmm.
And so if your kids went out and did crazy things or didn't have a sense of self-control, would you correct them, or would you blame the system or someone else for them being out of control?
That's a false equivalency.
And what's the answer to that? How would you correct your own children, or would you teach them to blame
It's a
someone
false
else?
equivalency because in my house the system is me.
It's
But
what?
outside of your house the system is controlled by others.
No, but what is the answer to it? Would you?
I just explained it to you with complete nuance.
So you would treat your own family better than you're treating black people because you're giving them a way out.
Well,
and I
how do you
noticed
know-
that wives
how do you know
like
my daughter or
you.
wife isn't black?
I noticed that wives like you.
How do you know my daughter or wife isn't black?
The liberal
Yeah.
wives,
He
the
looks like he dates
Democrats,
black women, he does.
they always give black people a way out by telling them that they don't have to be responsible. It's the old bad white man. It's the system. You're not responsible. And so now we have generation and generation of black people who are angry and out of control. The anger starts in the home because most of them are angry at their mothers and grandmothers. But people like you tell them it's the system, so they never get better. How do you live with yourself deceiving people in that manner?
I wonder how you live with yourself when you talk about people that you've never taken the time to get to know.
I don't know what you mean. I've known black people all my life. I know black
have
people.
clearly never
The ones that
operated-
I do know are black people.
You have never gone into those neighborhoods and you never
That's
talked.
not true. I live in those neighborhoods. I work in those neighborhoods
Okay.
for the last 27
That's
years.
fine.
So what you're saying is not true.
Wonderful. I mean, anybody that wants to investigate it is going to find out I'm correct.
No, they're going to find out you're wrong. Where did you get that information from that I don't work in the black community?
Well, I mean, if you do, you're being completely, willfully ignorant, because the words that are coming from your mouth are not the words that have come from the thousands of drug dealers that I have talked to and the communities that I've been in. It's amazing how you can actually think that you understand policing and the dynamics of police and a drug dealer when you've been neither police nor drug dealer, nor will have an honest conversation with either of them. That is an amazing level of ignorance.
You didn't answer the question. Where did you get the information from that I don't work in the black community?
Because
I don't know.
I did just explain to you. It's because of the words coming out of your mouth are expressed of those of ignorance.
But you pretend to be smarter than that, and you just said something that's not true.
That's fine that you can say it's not true. If you're there, you're not listening.
Listen to what I hear them blaming white folks and blaming the cops. Are black cops against black people as well?
I have never heard a drug dealer on the corner tell me that if it wasn't for these cops and for white people, he would be fine. Never heard that. Not once.
And you know why, right?
Why?
Because they have people like you telling them that it's not their fault, it's someone else.
Jesse. I ain't gonna lie, the other guy killed him, in my opinion. The other guy killed him. Like, I think he was making really good points, and I think, yeah, man, like the way you dialogue about certain things kind of tells a lot about how much you know about something that's going on, and people can really sense it by what you're saying. Like, you really have no connection to the culture enough to understand why the culture is the way it is. And the culture, like, and then if you learn the history of the culture in the African diaspora, you know, like, it's not a culture of illiterate, illegitimate, angry people who don't want to be connected to their families. It's the exact opposite, but they've had a history of just turmoil, man. We as black people have had a history of turmoil. But anyways, though, y'all, I'm out. Peace.